While staying in Luang Prabang, Laos, we joined a full-day tour that picked us up at our hotel. We first rode south toward the Quang Si waterfall. The landscape was rugged and green, with rice paddies everywhere, and the occasional Buddhist temple. Our first stop was the village of the Hmong people, an ethnic minority who originated somewhere in southern China. 17th and 18th century Han Chinese expansion pushed them south, dispersing them into the mountains of modern-day Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. The nearly 600,000 Hmong in Laos generally live in small mountain communities. Their language, culture, and animist religion still distinct from the majority Lao populace. This village only recently got electricity and satellite TV. It was rice harvesting season during our visit, so most of the village was out working in the fields. Older women and small children stayed to sell handicrafts to us tourists. Moving on, our next stop was the Quang Si waterfall, or rather the parking lot for the waterfall. Hopping into electric shuttles and passing through a mountain village, we arrived at the actual park entrance. The first part of the park is the Tat Quang Si Bear Rescue Center. Asiatic black bears, or moon bears, are threatened in the wild due to poaching and increasing overlap of their habitat with human expansion. These bears are mostly orphan cubs. One stated goal of the center is to figure out how to return them to the wild. But for now, they seem to live a pretty good life. Moving on, the waterfall was only a short walk away. Actually, a series of waterfalls. The walking path takes you upriver, crisscrossing the falls several times for a few hundred meters. This fantastic web along the way was built by what appeared to be a female giant golden orb weaver who was just finishing wrapping up her next meal. The waterfalls seemed to be getting more and more impressive as we ascended higher and higher. And the final main falls did not disappoint. Its multiple cascades tumbling 200 feet to the bottom. Next, we rode back north of the town to an elephant preserve. Elephants are integral to Lao culture, and images of elephants are found everywhere. The Lao kingdom's name, Lanzang, meant million elephants. Elephants were used for war and, until recently, for heavy labor. The Buddhist god Ganesha has the head of an elephant. Today, poaching, habitat destruction, and other factors have left fewer than 800 elephants in Laos, half of which are in camps similar to this one. Most of the elephants in the camp were female, and we only got a distant glimpse of the one male. The females we met were trained from birth to be around humans, so they can never be released into the wild. Plus, the large areas of forest that wild elephants need to live have been reduced by 70% in Laos, so there isn't a lot of room to reintroduce elephants raised in camps. This camp and others follow the ECAT international standards for care and sustainability so that they can be part of a survivability solution for this magnificent and highly endangered animal. But during the COVID-19 pandemic, many camp elephants died throughout Asia, with no tourist income to pay for their expensive care, food, and medical needs. After an unremarkable included lunch overlooking the Mekong, we walked down to the river for the next leg of our tour. The boat comfortably fit all 10 of us, and we headed upriver. The Pak O district north of Luang Prabang has a population of under 26,000 people, most of whom live along the banks of the Mekong. Heading towards the Nam O River, a Mekong tributary, we approached the massive Pha Hong Cliffs, towering 500 to 600 meters above the river. The limestone cliffs date from the early Cenozoic era, over 60 million years ago. Millions of years of erosion by the Mekong and its tributaries have left these outcroppings all up and down the river. Across from the mouth of the Nam O, more cliffs touch the Mekong, these pocketed by caves that house a temple, the next stop of our tour. The caves are home to hundreds of Buddha statues. We paid for an incense offering at the entrance and lit the candles for our sons. Farther up the cliff, a second cave holds even more statues. Hopping back in the boat and heading downriver, we pulled into a small dock at Zhanghai village, where they produce local moonshine. There's an adjacent Buddhist temple and the villagers also had hand-woven fabrics for sale. Jars of fermented rice are distilled by boiling it in drums, then collecting the condensed liquid. The Lao Lao, meaning Laotian alcohol, was pretty potent. After picking up a little something for the road, we hopped back on the boat, moving downriver toward Luang Prabang. We laid back and enjoyed the ride, watching the sun set over the Mekong.